Conservatives, as I'm sure you know, lost their minds when someone just acknowledged what is unavoidable. Stephen Miller is an ugly little goblin creature. That's just the truth, okay? And the truth matters. Now, we're used to Democrats backtracking, right? And so I'm just waiting for Hakeem Jeffries to be like, don't talk about his ugliness. And Chuck Schumer will be like, I don't know if that's what we should be saying. Now, maybe they'll do that, maybe. But the person who called him ugly, the person who invited all of this hatred and potential violence from the right is not actually backtracking. So this person could well have been anonymous. I'll just remind you, the reason we know who they are, Paulina, is because of Katie Miller. Katie Miller decided to jump to her husband's defense in a way he wouldn't do with the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and posted, Paulina is who runs the Democrats' account. She's 30, unmarried, with no kids, which I guess is just on its face a bad thing to be for some reason that she assumes but can't explain. Put your name on it next time. This is what, tell that to libs of TikTok, by the way. This is what a sad, unhappy female liberal looks like. It's why Pew reports 50% of them have been diagnosed with a mental condition. Again, I'll just say what I said yesterday. That's a lovely picture. Katie Miller has face blindness. I don't know what's going on with her. But anyway, Paulina decided to go on to Midas Touch, and she is very much not backing down.
Katie Miller has been posting about you. She went on Fox and she's been talking about you, and she's made it very personal about you, Paulina. So I want to give you the opportunity right now to respond to Katie Miller. If she's watching this, what do you want Katie Miller to know?
I want Katie Miller to know that her husband is an ugly. Stephen Miller is one of the most powerful men in the country right now. He is a White House official who is taking to Twitter to hurl these absolutely false and transphobic attacks against an amazing candidate in Texas, James Tallarico. We simply called him ugly, and I think that what he has been doing is ugly. He is celebrating when ICE shoots down Americans in the street. He thinks that it's cool when families are separated, and it's just absolutely disgusting. And so, yeah, I stand by calling him an ugly.
I love it. Not only stands by it, but repeats it. And so look, should appearance matter? Perhaps not. You being ugly shouldn't necessarily matter. You being hot shouldn't necessarily matter. But I cannot stress enough how much joy it brings me that when Katie Miller decides, I'm gonna defend my husband and I'm gonna talk to this childless cat lady with her blue hair and her pronouns, and I'm gonna make fun of how she looks. And then she's like, who is it? And her Paulina's picture comes up and she's just like, damn it. That just makes me so happy. Like, I've never had such a vested interest in a person I don't know and will never meet being objectively attractive. And by the way, Katie, it bothers you, I'm sure, that Paulina is both objectively attractive and far more attractive than you will ever be or have ever been. But it's important that you know that Stephen thinks it too. That's important to me as well. Stephen definitely thinks that Paulina is more attractive than you. He's not gonna say it, okay? He'll be nice to you, you're white, but he's definitely thinking it. And let's also just throw out one more thing before Brett comments, and that is that Paulina had this cake. You ratioed Temu Hitler and also are hot. And she's just not a sad liberal. I'm sorry, she seems to be quite happy. She's on the verge of getting married. She's got a great cake. And again, Katie, she's just hotter than you and your husband combined. I'm sorry, but Brett, what do you make of all this?
Like the argument, oh my God, I'm so loud in my own headphones. I didn't drink that much last night. But the argument against being 30 and childless is that for some reason they're like, you must be unhappy. But if you take 1 second to think about the folks like Katie Miller, Stephen Miller, Jesse Waters, Pete Hegseth, Donald Trump, everything they do and say sounds like they are so miserable.
Yeah.
They theoretically have power. They theoretically have achieved the goals they set out for themselves, and they're still freaking miserable. Also, the right wing has told me time and time again that they are the people that are so passionate about personal choice and freedom and doing what you want based on what you like and what your desires are for your life's shape. And they are telling you, you can't do what this woman does. You have to get married. You have to have intercourse and make a child in your womb that they make sure that you keep to term, and they go inside your uterus, and they won't let you make your own decisions. I'm absolutely sick and tired of it. And it's so transparent. These miserable twerps are trying to convince us they're happy when they're not, and that we're miserable when they're the ones that seem to be like, basically I could say calmer than you are, dude.
Yeah, 100%. There's just one, I wanna play a clip actually. Because I noticed something that was called out actually on the I've Had It podcast. So I've been a little bit profane this week. I've been channeling Brett, and I've made a few jokes that perhaps some people think cross the lines in the chat. And I said at the time, it seems unfair because I know the ladies at the I've Had It podcast are gonna go way harder than me, and everybody's fine with them doing it. And indeed they did. So we're just gonna play a clip of this where Angie Sullivan's gonna make a great point.
You're a liberal woman. Do you have a mental disorder?
Yeah, I do. It's called Katie Miller. Shut the fuck up, you stupid. That's my mental disorder. Here's the thing. I just want to point out what she didn't address. Katie Miller did not get on there and go on and on about how handsome Stephen Miller is, how he believes in people, how he wants every human to have rights. She didn't do any of that. She goes on this liberal like, Katie, you married the world's most man. You are having your fourth child with him because the two of you spew hate as an aphrodisiac. So please do not tell me about liberal women, because here's the deal. I would rather be a barren, never having had sex, liberal woman than Stephen Miller on all the sex drugs Amsterdam can provide. So enough.
It's a great point. Katie Miller never, like the tweet is not, I think he's hot. She could at least pretend to think that, but she just glossed right over that and jumped to attacking the other woman because she doesn't want to think about Stephen Miller. She doesn't want to think about a relationship. She just wants to pretend to herself that somehow she's still happier than these other people, because I guess at least technically she's married to something that's mammalian, I suppose, in some rough sense.
I love when the right wing is like, listen, this is a Jesse Waters attack. It's like the left wing, you guys are so ugly and we're so beautiful. And then in the same breath be like, Hollywood's run by liberals. It's like literally every one of the hottest people by your own definition of Hollywood is liberal. And then they go like, there's a blue-haired person in San Francisco who like doesn't fit my definition of hot. Do you want to open that can of really disgusting B-roll we have of gross maggots?
Yeah.
Like every rally that you go to, every group of people, except for the ones who are allowed to be the face of the movement, those ones, they're just like, they're pimples. They're giant angry pimples. Like if you want to play this game, we're gonna win.
Yeah. Again, and again, we don't have to play this game. It's not in my like core programming to begin with this game, but you guys decided to make it this game, and we're gonna win on the territory you decided.
And our argument from the jump was, let's accept people how they are, how they want to be. Freedom is the American way. And theirs is like, well, I'm angry. And my problem is definitely not with me. It has to be with you. So let me like dredge up these lazy ass and factually inaccurate arguments that I have to rely on the infrastructure of right-wing media to actually make fly.
Yeah.
That people are already so miserable because you've made them miserable listening to your god-awful podcasts and Fox News. Their desire is just to go like, yes, it's someone else's fault more than it is. Is this a good argument and does it hold water?